So Akienreh Johnson, Woman of God, University of Michigan, the Athlete's Bible, the podcast, and Walking in My Purpose. Yeah.
This city has stories, and so do we. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement. Real stories, real people, real purpose. Real purpose. Pull up a seat, get comfortable. Let's talk purpose, pain, growth, and everything in between. From the heart of Atlanta to wherever you are, welcome to Stool Talk. Let's walk it out in purpose together.
So today with us on Stool Talk, we're honored to have a return guest. Here on Stool Talk, we walk in our purpose, on purpose, and this person that we have with us today is definitely doing that. She's an amazing young lady, a woman of God. She's doing some amazing things with the youth and even for the young adults just by her content she does. It steady touches me, and I see people resharing, and I see what she's saying that people right now really need to hear the impact that she's saying. Today we have with us the one, the only Miss Akienreh Johnson. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So it's definitely a good thing to see that you really walking in your purpose. God is really using you with creating that platform, with creating a skill set. I watched your video last night of you teaching and you demonstrating in your training and you taking it down to the core basics and fundamentals, the same as you doing with talking about faith and all like that. When did all this seems to start taking place? Like, yeah, I'm gonna start this and I'm gonna start doing that. Like, when did God put that on your heart to start doing both avenues?
Well, God's been working through me my whole life, but consistently of November 2023 is when I just 100% gave my life to God. I'm like, okay, I can't keep doing the lukewarm. I can't keep going the back and forth. This is serious. Like, this is not nothing to play around with, you know? So once I really gave my life to God, that's when God kind of started shaping my heart. Because if you ask anybody that asked me, I would have told you a year ago, no, I would never train. I would never be a coach. I would never work with kids. I would never, like, I said that my whole life. But the more God works in me and the more God works through me, and the more I talk to people and I network with people and I talk to kids, you realize how much knowledge you have that people just don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many things that I learned as a kid, I learned growing up, that when I tell a grown adult that, they're like, what? And it's like, oh my God, you don't know this information. Like, this is detrimental to know, you know what I mean? And it was with my faith walk with God, with basketball, with life, just in general. It's like, it's certain things in life you just have to know. Like, you can't survive happily. You can't heal without knowing these things. So just allowing God to work through my heart and completely giving up my goals, my passions, my future, and just giving it to God. And I trust him so much that he'll show me the way. So since I've given my life to him, he's just shown me the way. Like, he's just it was like too many people kept asking me to train. It was too many. It was too many. And God just says, you know, do what you would do for free, that's why you should do for free all the time anyway. Do what you would do for free and get paid for it, and use this work to, you know, basically shout him out. So I allow God to work through me. Even if I'm not talking about God, I make sure that before having a session, I tell God, hey, just work through me. So even if my presence, if my calmness, if my smile, if my energy, if just give me what I need to help this person that I'm going to be in contact with today. So really just allowing God to work through me and allowing him to make the plans for me, and giving up and sacrificing the flesh and sacrificing me and just allowing God to work through me. That's just where he's led me till today, this far.
So it's safe to say that you rapture ready and you getting others.
Amen. Amen.
I heard that story. That was amazing. I said, man, I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah, shout out to my sister. She made that up. She wants to have a Christian-based clothing line coming out soon. So she's gonna start working on that. So that will definitely be a shirt, rapture ready.
Yeah, wow. Looking back on your journey from Michigan to playing professional, what are some defining moments that shaped you both as a person and as a player?
I would say definitely tearing my ACL. I tore it not once but twice. That really, really taught me key things that I've been able to use on my walk with Christ and use in life. When you're an athlete, you're always on the go. You're always, school, practice, homework, school, practice, homework, school, workouts. Like you're always on the go. You don't really get a second to sit and focus on you and to reflect because you're always on the move and you're always comparing yourself to people. You're always looking at the next game, the next day. How can I get better? You never really take a time to sit down and reflect on not only how far you've come, but just what you've been going through. Like you can be going through something then like your grandmother can pass away, but you have a game tomorrow, so you don't get the time to grieve and handle those things. So I didn't know how important that was until I tore my ACL the first time. Second time that I broke my hand. So what I learned from that is just like patience and that God will sit you down. And if God's telling you to sit down and you don't listen, he will sit you down. So I've learned, if you feel a type of way or if you need to sit down and rest and reflect and just chill, please do that because God will do it. And when God does it, you're gonna be out for a long time. Like he gonna put you down. He not gonna sugarcoat it. He gonna put you down for a while. So him putting me down so many times, like, and just having me sit with myself and reflect, I've noticed so many things about myself that I would have never thought about had I not been sat down. Like I seen what type of person I was outside of basketball. I always was the one, the best player on the court, the one that you can go to, the one that's going to push you hard on the court. But once he took that away, I had to figure out a different way to, contribute to the game. So when I tore my ACL and I was hurt on the sidelines, I learned to be a coach. I learned to speak. I wasn't how I speak now. If you met me at 15, 16, you couldn't get this out of me. You couldn't get a conversation out of me. It was very, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, Jake forward, keep it going. But I learned to use my voice. I learned to communicate. I learned to give energy and give motivation in a way that's not on the court. I learned to just listen and I learned to be integral. I learned to start over. Sometimes in life, you have to start over and you have to humble yourself with I had to humble myself with being the best player in Ohio, one of the best players in Ohio, to you can't walk. That's a very big, that's a very, very big, flip in a day. So from having that and going through that multiple times, you just learn that for one, God can humble you at any second. So to stay humble, never get too high, never get too low. And to just make sure that whatever happens, you just keep your energy, keep your peace, keep your character, keep who you want to be to people. Because one thing that I hold highly to myself and I appreciate myself and I look back and I pat myself on the back is no matter what in life I was going through, I was always a good person. Like if you ask anybody in my life, anybody that you've met, it's people that's coming back out of the woodworks from when I was 13, 14, 15. Like you were always so nice. And I look back at that time, like I was struggling with, this, that, and the third. So for people to tell me like I was still, a good person, I was still bright, I was still funny, I was still laughing all the time. That's a big, that's appreciative for sure. Like just to know that even though I was in my deepest, darkest moments, I was still able to be that light for people. So now I just know, like, no matter how bad life gets, just keep your character and just trust that God's going to get you out of it. I've been in so many seasons where it seemed like God would never get me out of that season, or I would never get myself out that season. But that's how I know God is real, because he covered me and got me out of seasons where I wasn't even talking to him. I wasn't even asking him. I wasn't even praying to him. I wasn't going to him. So for him to get me out of those seasons and I didn't have a relationship with him, it just gives me so much more confidence now that no matter what I go through, as long as I have him, I'm going to get through it. So that's the most important thing I've learned.
Yeah, and then even what I thought about when I heard your story and as I'm listening to the things, and then even the Holy Spirit downloaded it after I had the interview with your mom. What you're doing is talking about the relationship form. A lot of people just religion. You can't do that because you go to church. You ain't supposed to do this, but you're breaking it down and talking about the relationship, and that's what is needed today, even with the youth, because they want to know, they seek it. Like it's a lot of people that look up to you, that's seeing your walk, and that's helping them because they're seeing you do it, and you're not only talking about it, you're living through what you're talking about. And that's what's needed, because we got a lot of different religions, we got a lot of social media people doing this and doing that. So now they say you can understand and you can see and you know the man by their fruit. So you bearing good fruit, and then you're producing it now to people who watch and follow you, and then even to the people that you train. So that's amazing.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. What do you love most about working with the athletes now?
I love how it just it opens my brain to how far I have come and how good I actually was at that age. Like my whole life, I was always, pretty good. I was always pretty much the best on the team. So I've always kind of had this chip on my shoulder and this kind of like walk to me where I'm just like, I know how to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can do a layup. I can do a reverse layup. I can dribble between my legs. You know what I'm saying? But having to sit back and train kids and have to really dig deep and figure out, okay, how do you teach someone how to do a crossover? You know, you have to like really sit and humble yourself and really go back to when you were in second, third, fourth grade, learning all these things. How do I teach someone like this? Because I'm teaching 13, 14, 15-year olds things I learned at second, third grade with my dad. You know what I mean? So having to have like learn the patience to teach that, but also I know this is something that I want to do because I'm putting effort into helping them. You know what I mean? I know everyone has things in life where they've done, but they haven't really put they 100% in. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll do that later. I'll do that. But like with this, I actually come home and sit and really make workout plans, and I really write down, okay, what are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What do they need to work on? How can I get them better? How can I do this? And it's starting from just the smallest small detail. So really just seeing how much I can help people in the smallest way, it just gives you so much motivation and so much like a little chip on your shoulder, you know, like, wow, okay, I can really make a difference in this kid's life, which is changing one tiny little thing. So, for example, if I'm training a kid and I'm teaching them how to form shoot and just say they missed 3 shots in a row and they hang their head, just me saying, hey, don't hang your head. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you learn how to tie your shoe, you didn't learn that in a day, you know, so let's apply that same logic with this form shooting. You've never done this before. This is the first time I asked you to do this. You're not going to get it in a day. I said, but don't hang your head, because if you put too much confidence in this and too much, energy into this, you're going to hang your head with everything you do. You're going to hang your head if you get an F. You're going to hang your head if you lose a friend. You're going to hang your head if you get broken up with. Like, hanging your head, that's something you shouldn't do in any part of life, not just basketball. So me teaching them like, hey, you're taking more energy hanging your head and feeling sorry for yourself than just getting the ball and do another rep. Like, it's more of the game. If you go into a game and miss a layup, you hang your head, you've taken all this energy just to get back on defense. You know, it's always a next play. So me saying those small things and seeing my clients miss 10 in a row and still be like, give me the ball. Like, they're still energetic. It makes me happy, because that's something that I wish I had learned earlier, is to not hang my head. Because I allowed just that small thing of like hanging my head or just being down on myself. I let that carry so much into my life, not just basketball, but just with life. Like, if I made a mistake, I let the mistake linger. If I got a bad grade, I let that linger. If I messed up on something, I let it linger, to where now that one mistake turned into 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes, 4 mistakes. One bad day turned into 2 bad days, 3 bad days. Where if I could have just let that bad thing happen, dealt with it, and just moved on, I could have been so much farther just in life. You know what I'm saying? So just teaching them just how to adjust their mindset in the smallest ways to make a huge impact for them in 10, 15 years later, that's really important to me.
Yeah, and what's one thing that you want every athlete that you help, whether it's mentoring, whether it's training, to walk away from you with?
Confidence. Confidence is very important, and confidence is something that you have to find within yourself, and you find that in yourself through walking with God. I have the most confidence. Today, I'm the most confident I've ever been in my life, because I'm the closest with God I've ever been in my life. But for someone that's not really all the way there with God, you have to just seek confidence in yourself. Like, find some things that you're good at. Write down some things that you love about yourself. Write down some characteristics that you like about yourself. Ask people, ask your friends, hey, what do you like about me? Like, why are we friends? Ask your parents, mom, what is something you think I'm good at? Ask your grandparents, ask anybody. Like, come up with the list and just remind yourself of them things, because it's very easy to get down on ourselves. It's very easy to just have a woe is me mindset and just be miserable and negative. And that's kind of what the world wants us to be. They kind of, especially being Black, being us, they want us to be miserable. They want us to be down bad, have no confidence. That's how they control us. The most intimidating thing in the world is a powerful Black person. People don't want to see that. They do not want to see you walk into a room, be intelligent. A woman, people don't want to see an intelligent, confident woman. A Black man, people don't want to see that. So take something that you in yourself that you like, and just keep building on that. Even if it's one thing, tell yourself that one thing every day till it comes to 2, till it goes to 3. So I think confidence is definitely the most important thing right now.
Yeah. And what does being intentional with your faith look like, practically, like through prayer, time in the word, or showing up for others? And how can other people gravitate to that?
I will say it's not easy. So if anybody out here is thinking that giving your life to God and walking with God is easy, I promise you it's not. But it's it's worth it. It's it's the hardest thing you'll ever do, but it has the most benefit you'll ever experience or ever have. It's not easy. It really starts with just being intentional with talking to God. You know, when I was younger, I used to always think like, I have to know the Bible. I have to read the Bible. I have to know the people in the Bible. I have to know the stories. I have to know how Jesus did this. I have to know the verses. I have to know. That becomes so overwhelming that eventually you're just like, well, I'm not going to do it because I'm never going to learn this verse. I'm never going to learn. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to learn all that. But I would say truly giving your heart to God and really just talking to God. Like, find your own way to talk to God. I always tell people I talk to God like he's my best friend. Like, if I'm going through something, I'm like, come on, God, like, what we doing, man? Like, what's going on? Like, I did this. You helped me with this. Now I'm stuck here. What's next? What's next? Like, talk to him. He wants us to give everything to him. So if you're mad, he wants you to give that to him. If you're sad, he wants you to go to him. If you're frustrated, if you're happy, if you're feeling lustful, if you're feeling like unconfident, if you have all the any feeling you have, he wants you to go to him. So even if you come to him like, God, I'm confused. I don't know how to talk to you. I don't know what to say to you. I don't know. Go to him with anything you have. Go to him, and eventually, he'll put the Holy Spirit in you. He'll put that conviction in your heart, and eventually, certain things that you used to do every day, you'll kind of start not doing. Like, so for example, in college, I used to drink a lot. Like, I used to drink all the time on the weekends because that was just the only way I was able to kind of cope with just the stress of being an athlete. Eventually, you give your life to God. Eventually, now you're drunk and you're like, I don't really feel right, you know. And then the second weekend, you might do it again, but it's like, I don't really feel like it. Then the third weekend, you might just be like, you know what, y'all, I don't really want to. And it's something you don't even notice. You might not even think about. But once you really truly give your heart to him, he will undo, things you need to change. Because right now, I would say when I first started, there was things I needed to change that I wasn't even aware of. I had no idea about. But once I gave my life to him and gave my heart to him, he started to unravel those things. He started to teach me, hey, this is not right. This is not. And I learned how to listen to him. I learned how to listen to that discernment, that little voice in my head. I learned to listen to him. So now when something happens and I get that little feeling, it's like, oh, okay, I shouldn't be doing that. Because I've trained myself to listen to him. But that also came from not listening to him. So I've had that feeling of discernment where I just was like, oh, that's just me overthinking. And then God had to punish me, So it's definitely trial and error. It's not going to happen in a day, in a week, in a month. Just learn how to talk to God, learn how to go to him, learn how to speak to him, and he will speak back as long as you're true and intentional about it.
And as somebody in the public eye, how do you stay grounded in your faith while showing up in different places like training, maybe social media events or places where you come so you ain't looking at, dang, everybody got their eyes on me, everybody judging me, or trying to like walking on eggshells. How do you balance that?
I would say that's something I learned from being an athlete. Being in the public eye and always having to put up this image, I've kind of been used to that. Because when you're a top athlete, you're committed to Michigan. Well, no matter where you go, people are gonna have their eyes on you, and that's something that my parents, that my coaches, that my family, they always hype that on our family's head. Is like, where you go, people are watching you because they want to see you mess up, they want to see you fail, they want to have something to talk about. So I've always been taught, and I've always been used to doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? I've always walked into a room and spoke to everyone. I've always been nice. I've always been kind. I've always been integral. Integrity is one of my most important core values because what's done in the dark, that's what's shown in the light. Just like God, you know someone by their fruits. You can't say, I love God, but then you hate black people. You can't say I love God, but you hate transgender people. Like you can't. So I've always been very integral. And one thing that I've learned is I am anxious and have anxiety when I lack preparation. So just like a game, if I have a big game coming up, I haven't been in the gym, I haven't been doing what I'm supposed to do. When that game comes, I'm gonna be a little shaky. I'm gonna be a little nervous. But that's because I didn't prepare. I didn't get my shots in. I didn't get my ball handling. I wasn't consistent. I didn't watch film. So the same thing is with God. If I'm not in my word, if I'm not talking to him in my alone time, if I'm not taking my problems to him, if I'm not talking to him, if I'm not asking him questions, if I'm not studying him, then when the showtime come and it's time to get around people, I'm gonna be nervous because I'm not prepared. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing I took with basketball, the preparation of preparing until the big show, that's how I view God, because my biggest thing is I don't ever want to be the reason where someone does not believe in God. Because there's a lot of people that you and I probably both know that claim they're in a church, claim they're a believer, but their fruit is just ugly. It's ugly, it's bitter, they're mean, they're disrespectful, they judgmental. I never ever want to be one of those people. So I always make sure, God, please unravel all that stuff in me so that when I am in front of people, I can speak confidently. So now, just me doing things like this, I'm able to speak confidently because I have so much alone time with God to where when a question comes up, I already have an answer because I've already thought about that. I've already talked to God about that. I've already, discussed what to say. I've already kind of wrung those things out of my heart. So now it's an easy conversation.
Yeah, and I'm gonna use a saying that a great educator throughout the city of Toledo, Miss Johnson, said. You
Oh,
be,
oh,
you might know this is good though. You might be the only God that somebody sees, so you have the ability to make them be like, man, you know what? I was about to give God a chance. I seen old boy over there a while, and I'm cool. So
yep.
that's definitely true.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I know so many people that are like, well, I knew God, but I had a boyfriend who was godly, but he did this, he cheated on me, he did this. So it's like I don't really, what I'm saying. It just
Yeah,
causes confusion. You know what I mean? Because people they pick and choose. They pick and choose what to live by
yeah.
and what to not live by. You can't be one of those people. If you're gonna follow God, you have to change your life because we're held to a higher standard. We can't move with the world. We can't go with the world and go with God. They're going two separate directions. You have to pick one. So when you give your life to God, it's tough because you're held to a higher standard. You can't do what everybody else does. So I always say if you're struggling with that, struggle in private. Don't go out and call your friends to go drink and smoke and talk to a whole bunch of females. No, if you're struggling with that, struggle by yourself. Like struggle with you and God. Don't bring other people in with you because, like you said, you can be the one person that people see. Now they're turning away from God because you didn't hurt them. You know what I'm saying? So we're definitely held to a higher standard.
Yeah, and before we close, I got three athletes. They presented a question that I want you to answer.
All right.
The first one was, how do I stay consistent in my quiet time with God?
Um, just remember to always go to him. God is not Santa Claus. God is not someone you just go to and ask for things when you feel like it. God is someone who wants your attention all the time. So one thing that I learned is God loves everything about us, and the things that are important to us are important to him. And God loves watching us use our talents and use our gifts. I didn't know that playing basketball. If I knew every time I got on the court that God was sitting there with his popcorn, happy, looking at me play, oh yeah, I'm going 10 times harder, but you don't even think about that. So
Yeah,
I would just say everything in life that you do, don't think that God is not watching and don't think that God does not care. God cares. As soon as you open your eyes in the morning, God is watching you, caring about you. Even while you're asleep, he's covering you. He has his angels covering you. He's praying over you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're sitting in the morning and you're eating your breakfast, thank God for your breakfast. Thank God that I got some toast and some jelly and some eggs and bacon. If you
yeah,
have a basketball game, pray to God and talk to him. If you're struggling with something, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, talk to him about it. If you're struggling with your parents, like come to him. There's nothing too big or too small to go to God. He wants to hear about our day all the time. So it's hard because like you have to remember, and I know that kind of sounds crazy. Like remember to talk to God. You should always know, but that's kind of how the devil tricks you. Is like, oh well, you forgot about him, so you don't need to talk to him, and he don't want to hear from you. That's how the devil tricks us. That's how the devil gets us to get farther away from God because he knows, okay, well I haven't talked to God all this week. God don't want to hear from me. I didn't did this thing. I didn't did this. I didn't cheated. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. God don't want to hear from me. That's the devil trying to trick you. God wants to hear from you all the time. So just remember that and just go to him. Literally, talk to him. Talk to him like he's your friend. That's the advice I would have.
yeah. Number two is, what's one drill to improve my handles under pressure?
Handles under pressure. I would say full court stationary ball handling. So stationary ball handling, you can look up some on YouTube, on TikTok. We got TikTok now. They got everything. Use TikTok. Use all these questions you have with basketball. Use TikTok. We didn't have that. We had Google kinda. We didn't really go to Google, but use TikTok. Search some ball handling drills. Search some Steph Curry ball handling drills. If you want to follow me on my Instagram and Facebook at Akienreh_Lee, I have some ball handling drills I've posted. Do some stationary ones, do some heavy ball ones. And if you have a partner, you got a friend, a sibling, a trainer, have them go full court zigzag and play some false defense on you. You get a little more confident, play some real defense on you. So just get some stationary, just get the confidence, but definitely practice with someone in front of you. Practice and tell the person, like, try to steal the ball from me, like try to steal it. If you have some male friends, that's pretty good defenders. I used to play against boys. That's where I got a lot of my confidence from. Is literally playing one on one with dudes, playing 5-on-5 with dudes. Because if you can score on a dude, you can
Yeah,
score on
yeah,
any girl. You know what I'm saying? So just get some stationary ball handling and then some full court, somebody in front of you to kind of stimulate a real game situation.
yeah. And the last question will be, how can I lead my team without being the loudest voice?
Well, you can lead by example all the time. That's one thing I've learned with leadership is there's so many different type of leaders. There's so many different type of ways you can lead. When I was younger, I was a lead by example type of person. Like, I ain't gonna say nothing, but just follow what I do. So if I do this drill, do it hard like me. If I touch these lines, make sure you touch every line. If it's at school and it's a fight that going right, then I'm a walk left and I'm gonna bring people with me. You know what I'm saying? And then once you get the confidence to be able to learn how to speak, then do that. Because if you're a natural born leader and people already follow you, when you speak up, it's going to be easy for you. You know what I'm saying? But start with leading by example. So if you know the right thing to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Encourage people one on one. You don't got to go to the whole team first. Do one on one first. Like, hey, do this. Get here. Go a little harder. Start with little words of encouragement, and eventually, as your confidence gets a little better, then you can kind of because a coach is going to see a leader. Like a coach is going to notice a leader before you even notice it yourself. So a good coach will put you in a situation or in a predicament to improve your leadership skills. That's what a good coach is supposed to do. So just focus on doing the right thing for you. People will follow, and then eventually your voice will come.
Yeah. Um, what is your go-to song right now when you
My my go-to song, my go-to artist right now is Forrest Frank.
okay, yeah, yeah,
Forrest
yeah.
Frank, and then really his whole album. I'll play that whole album the whole day. I'll play it on repeat the whole day. So every song in his, because I think he only has one album. So every song in his album, I'll play every day.
What was your go-to warm-up routine before you hit the court?
Go to warm-up routine at Michigan or at
Either.
I don't really remember at Rogers. We didn't really have time to have an individual workout routine in high school, but with Michigan, I would have a pregame nap. Needed my nap. Had to take a nap. Went, got taped up, got stretched, got everything I needed. Went to the court, did about 5 to 10 minutes of stationary ball handling, full court back stationary, form shots, 5 spots, 5 spots of regular jump shots, 5 spots of threes, and then by that time I was pretty warmed up.
A book or a podcast that you've been reading lately, or the last one?
A book. What's the book called? The Purpose Driven Life.
Yeah,
You read that book?
yeah,
Yes, I
yeah,
would say me reading that book has gotten me way closer to
yeah.
God. Like I will not lie. I did not read it for 44 days in a row. I didn't.
Yeah.
It took me
So
about 2 months.
how I did is I did it with the YouTube. So it's like an audio book
Okay.
on YouTube. So it read it because I didn't read. I got the physical one, but the YouTube one I just played it like that.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
smart. That's smart. Yeah, it took about 2 months to read it. But I liked it because it's short. I have ADHD, so I need something that's gonna be to the point. You know what I'm saying? So it's short to the point, and it had questions to where you can kind of reflect and lock in.
yeah.
Podcast I like in totality by Megan Ashley. I watch her a
Okay.
lot. But my favorite podcast is the Athlete's Bible. That's me and my co-host Taylor Works. And that's our podcast that we're trying to get up and running. We have 5 episodes out right now. So if you want, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. Bible verse you return to the most.
I gotta say, hold on, I gotta make sure I say it right. Hold on. I think it's Luke. It's like I can't find it. It's like, and he who creates a good work in me, who will finish it, something like that. Like
Yeah,
basically,
will be
yeah,
faithful to, yeah.
yeah. I couldn't find it, but you get the gist.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, prayer or meditation?
Both,
Both.
both.
One word to describe your training style.
Mm, I would say mental. It's a lot of mental. It's more mentally exhausting than physical, I would say.
Yeah. Um, what's one thing you would start off when you first get an athlete that you're gonna train? What would you
Fir-
first? What's your first thing you'll do with them?
First thing I do is ask what they want to work on, because a lot of times kids come to me and their parents have written me a whole list of things they need to work on. So I make sure that when I get them one-on-one, I kind of ask them like, hey, I know your parents told me this. What's something you want to work on? What's something that you see? Because I know parents, it's real quick to say, do this. But when you on the court and you're actually seeing what's going on, like what's something you struggle with, something you need to work on, something you want to get better at. So I just ask them first, and I kind of just maneuver. I have a lot of a lot of drills in my head, so I'll just ask them and kind of maneuver the drill, depending on what they want to focus on and work on.
Yeah. When it's all said and done, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave, both in the basketball world and even with your walk in Christ?
I've always wanted to just be an example of it's possible. No matter where you come from, no matter how you are, no matter how you think. I know I didn't come from the worst upbringing, but my mentality and how I do things, I feel like is universal. And what I've learned is no matter where you came from, we all kind of struggle with very similar things when it comes to like confidence, comparison, lust, confusion. Like we all at some point, and God does not give you anything you can't handle. So whatever you've gone through in life, he gave it to you for a reason. Because I have my co-host Taylor. We talk a lot, and we've gone through a lot of similar tests in our life, and we grew up completely different, like night and day, completely different. One thing we learned is like God has to give you certain battles to test certain things. So I just think that is very important for me to just be an example and a woman of God. When people see me, I want them to see not only that, I'm a beautiful young woman, I'm a respectful young woman, but also see that just because you look a certain way, no, you have to act a certain way. A lot of people see me and they think like I'm mean. I don't know. I don't know where they get that from.
The demeanor.
I don't know. Like, I thought you were so mean. I'm just like,
Yeah.
So I just make sure that like, 'cause a lot of people think that people that are like a little more attractive, like pretty, have things going for themselves, that they're mean and bitter. And like, no. You don't have to be like that. You don't have to act like that. So just leaving a legacy of you can do whatever you put your mind to as long as you give it to God first. Okay, that's what I want people to realize, because it took me a very long time to realize it. And if I had realized that earlier, I think I could have been a lot better off in life. Not saying that where I'm at is bad, but I could have been a lot further in my journey and just with my goals, personal goals, and relationship with God than I am right now.
Yeah. Shout out to Taylor too. We gotta get her on here.
Yes, my girl.
Definitely. And it's just amazing. And your family, shout out to your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your auntie Kelly.
To shout her out.
Amazing. And I just love the family, how you guys all are, close, tight knit, and you all are, continuing to do God's work, individually, in different lanes, but all pouring into people who need to hear it. So we're spotlighting you once again. Continue with the content because it's needed. Continue with the training because the fundamentals is lost, and you are the one helping the young women who might not get that attention from the popular trainer, or might just be the one that's left behind. You are able to reach those people, and you're going to see what you're pouring into them on the court as well as what you're pouring into others. So we just thank you. Continue to do God's work. May He bless you. May He give you favor, even though you're doing different stuff because it's in your purpose. May you get blessed for that. May doors we thank you for the doors that's already open, and the people that you will meet, that you continue to be a present help in whatever they need for, and we just thank you for that.
Man, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Akienreh Johnson.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.